Have a great stream from all of us here at Streamlabs Talk Studio. So you know how much work I did on getting us on OBS? Zero. But that's all right.
You know how much work that people have been doing at my actual work the past week?
Also zero? Yeah.
Pretty much. Because like the last 2 weeks of the year, everyone's trying to use up the PTO that they can't roll over. And so
Yeah.
like this past week, it was like me and my team lead, and that's it for most of the week. And I was just like, man.
I'm gonna check, make sure we're live. I'm not seeing the notification in chat or on my phone.
Yes, we are.
Look like we are. Yeah, cool.
You want to know how I know? Because I can see the comments.
Well, we haven't had that issue. It was Tyler and I that had the issue where I saw the comments. But anyway, cool. Hey, let's see what this one does.
This is Wise and Nerdy, where fatherhood meets fandom.
Hey, what happens when Toys R Us kids grow up to become parents? They become co-hosts of that show where geeky fathers unite to share the joys, challenges, and hilarity of navigating parenthood. Because being a grown-up doesn't mean you stop being a fan. It just means your sidekicks call you dad. Happy freaking New Year, baby. I was going to say something else, but I can't say something else. We've had all of 0 swearing incidences on this show this year. So,
yep, this year. So far.
Hey, look, Tyler made it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they do say good Christians go to church twice a year, so good fathers come see us once or twice a year. Is that how that works?
Something like that. And I don't think that's what he said, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention enough.
Nope. Oh, man. All right, so we've got some...
I don't know when Charles started calling me dad, though. Because he's my sidekick.
Yeah. So how is what is it? Adventure Time Incorporated. What is that thing you do?
Adventure Time Incorporated. What?
Assorted nerddom.
Assorted geekdom.
Yeah, that. How's that going for you? How's that working out?
I haven't posted on that page in some time. Probably 2.
So hey, but that's not what we called to talk about. First, you put in a note, talk about package. What do you want to talk about?
You put that note in.
Oh, I put that in. So
because you got a package from Throne.
Joe was very nosy about my Throne and dealing through it. And he started texting me. So thank you, Joe. Obviously, something has come from Throne from you. And it doesn't say it's from you, at least not on the outside of the package. I haven't opened it yet. But I've been working on something for a little bit of time that's had some delays. So theoretically, you should have it in your studio by next week. And that's when I will see what nerdity you sent my way, and we'll open those things for everybody to enjoy on the show.
So it was my first time using Throne, and it at least on the gifters side, it gives me no information. Like they don't even tell me it's been I wish they at least gave you a confirmation email that it's been delivered or anything. They give you nothing. I understand from a privacy standpoint why they wouldn't give you like a tracking number, because that would give the person's address, but they should provide some kind of feedback letting you know that it got delivered.
I'll see if there's some settings on my side. Maybe I can adjust or touch or whatever. I did get notifications once it started going through the shipping side of things, like hey, this thing is shipping to you. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, it was driving you a little buggy, and that was hilarious. Because it happened to be last Thursday, I believe it was. You were texting me about it, and I gave you grief.
Well, part of it was you hadn't mentioned anything, and so I was like, "Is Throne a scam website that they just take your money and don't actually send stuff out?" So it was also kind of a little bit of an experiment in that regard to see how legit Throne was. So
It's there. So if you would like to check it out, I believe it's throne.com/RGOP42. And I'll get that linked up on my website here very soon. So there's that. So next week, hopefully, we'll have some fun little exchanges. And oh, that's why we're talking about something else later. And we do want to promote before everybody forgets. Okay, patreon.com/wise_n_nerdy. Go check us out. Support the crew.
Or you can just go to wisenerdy.com/allowance.
Because that's right. You pay us
because
for
it
the
just
right to live
redirects
in
you.
our house. So do that. And we've upped ours, so up yours, pledges, that is. And we appreciate you. And then we'll be live for the first time in 2026 at Con Nuga, which is also a first for us. So it's our first con of the year, but first time there. And that is the 20th through the 23rd.
20th to 22nd of February.
22nd. Yeah, of February. Yep. So if you'd like to come see us live, come do that. All right, Joe, what is the question of the week?
The question of the week is, what is more important, your wife or your kids? And this was something that you had suggested.
Yeah, I did.
Because you had heard something that changed your perspective on it or something like that, and so you wanted to discuss it.
I don't remember the thing. Yes, it was a dad talking to his kid. The kid looked like he might be between 14 and 16 years old, and he thought the kid thought he's the most important, and the dad was saying, the way I wish it's on TikTok, even if I hearted it, which I did. I like a lot of things, so going and finding it wouldn't be the easiest thing, but I'd love to play it for you. But the principle that Dad was saying is, you are my family, you'll always be my family, but you're gonna grow up and go have your own family, and you'll kind of understand the perspective later. Even when you're gone, your mother's here, and we had to choose each other, and we've had to work hard. I mean, it's not hard work to say you're my kid, but it is hard work to stay married sometimes. And it was just an interesting thing. And I was curious about your perspective, and then seeing if maybe I'd love to hear from, our daddios out there, and are they mommios if they want to comment as well. But our
lady daddios.
Yeah. So daddias. Are we gonna go all Pokemon Latios and Latias? Daddios and daddias?
They're daddiettes.
Daddy. So
you got dudes and dudettes and daddies and daddiettes.
I'm wondering if if you land on the same page I land on, and I wonder if we've got a couple people listening live, if they land on the same page, that if this isn't like a dad thing versus a mom thing. But what's your take for you in the end scheme? I'm not saying you ignore one or the other, but
yeah,
what's more important, your wife or your kids?
So I remember, I'm gonna do a little story first. I remember one of the things that my dad would say when we were being disrespectful to my mom is he would go out of his way to say, he wouldn't say stop being disrespectful to your mom. He would say don't speak to my wife like that. And he emphasized that it was his wife. And to me, the reason why that emanates, especially with this this discussion, is he was showing a priority there that before she was our mother, she was his wife, and in his mind, she came first. Not to say that he had any dereliction of duty when it came to being a father. He did his best, and everybody has their flaws. My kids are gonna be like, they're gonna look back and see the flaws that I had as an adult, but I think that, at least I hope, that the positive will outweigh any negative perception that they've got. But at the end of the day, like you said, my wife was there before my kids, and my wife will be there after my kids. And so, yes, that relationship takes a higher priority in my book than my kids.
So I find it interesting. The same way. I've had that talk with my kids. This and another. I've been vocal about that. in the world. And I've been also, that plays into maybe another topic we can talk about on another show, is you have to understand as a husband and a father how you differentiate those relationships between my wife versus their mother. And yeah, I've heard people, like, especially after divorce, it becomes their mother kind of thing.
Yep.
um, Depending on how you use it. But I've always wanted everybody to have a great relationship, but I've had to step back and go, okay, they've got to figure out, like my wife and the kids, they have to figure out their own relationship with each other, because I can't. My long short story is, I had that issue with my dad, and the one time he finally confronted me on anything, or met me on anything, he was at that point talking about his wife. I'm like, this is not a wife. I mean, I didn't say that clearly then, but it's like, this is not a wife battle. This is a mom battle. So you need to kind of not be in it, even though you're watching your wife royally screw up and it hurts you, but that's okay. Uh, I've had to deal with that, watch that, right? Make sure it's like, man, sitting on the outside, I can see the different things, but my wife definitely would put the kids over her own health and sanity, which I think is bad. Um,
And I think
yeah.
that's a tendency that mothers
That's
have
why. That's what I was
often.
wondering. It's like I don't know if the speak pipe was for this question
It
from.
is. It's from my wife.
Okay, all right, because I was going to say go ask her, because I mean I think it's going to be a different take, possibly. Um, there's a story of a lovely lady. So no, and when my first set one, when they were like 3 and 1.5, give or take, right? They're toddlers. They can have decent foods, whatever. I was at work, and at work was on the ambulance, I believe is the job I had at the time. And my wife calls me up, and I get it. You're tired, raising kids, sleep, whatever. It's stress. Who knows what's going on in her finances at the time? But she's stressed out. She's tired. But here's the thing, and I've noticed this in a lot of mothers. And it's not quite where we were going, but even though my wife's more to me, my wife's my wife. Even though she's your mother, you're my kids. You're supposed to grow up and be on your own and live your life, and find your wife or husband or whatever it is, so on and so forth. She calls up on the making that choice, and she's crying. I'm like, baby, what's going on? What's happening? And she's like, they won't let me eat. I'm like, you can even see me on the podcast. I kind of turn my head like, and I'm like, what? What do you mean? And she's like, they won't. They keep wanting to take bites of my sandwich, and I just can't eat my sandwich. I'm so tired. I'm like, and I was, I mean, young and a little bit brash, and I went, "You're bigger than them. Just stand up. What do you mean they won't let you eat? This isn't Gremlins where they're all over you and tying you down to the Christmas tree or whatever. I don't understand." And I don't remember but that was part of it. She won't say. Well, I mean, she will. There are boundaries, but in that situation, there were no boundaries. She's horrible at boundaries, and she wouldn't say no to the kids. And so she will absolutely, and has absolutely at times, made the kids more important to me. So with that, let's hear what Popcorn Art has to say.
And my wife just sent me a message. Apparently, Jeb and Bob also left them, so I just downloaded those and got those set up as well. So we've got perspective from the kids and from my wife, apparently.
All right.
So
Happy New Year, wise and nerdy crew. Mrs. Underscore here. Joe and I have talked about this a few times in our relationship. Your spouse should be the most important thing in your relationship, because eventually your kids are going to grow up and they're hopefully going to move out of your home, and you're going to be left alone with your spouse. And so you need to get along with your spouse, and you need to have a good relationship with them, or else things are going to fall apart, and that would be terribly, terribly sad. So obviously I don't have a wife, I have a husband. So my husband is number one on my list, and then my kids come after. Bye.
I believe you, but I would love to see it tested as well. Did Joe like, no, you can't go to that recital. I need you to come to this business dinner. I don't know. How did you come see Wise and Nerdy live at and it's weird. It's not weird. It's very fascinating that you know, like my anniversary's coming up, and sometimes we'll take a decent trip, and then it's just like while the kids exist when they're older, and it's easy to do phone calls and different stuff, and she's getting used to them being out and gone a little bit more anyway. But it is like a different person than when you're at home, and when the kids have. You've got 3 kids, so when they each have 2 different things they're supposed to be at 2 different times on that day, and your wife wants to be at all of them, and you got to work, or you can, yeah, it's like yeah, that's interesting. So, our chat room died. They didn't want to answer. They're all like sitting next to their wives going,
Well, John says
"Oh."
agreed. He agrees that the spouse should come first. John Marsh.
I can read.
Well, just clarifying, because if you just say John, some people might associate that with Devo.
Or Quack Faster. Or
That's
every
true.
average white guy in America.
Or John the Beloved, clearly. He's commenting on our posts.
Or Johnny Appleseed. I mean, we really
All
want to
the
go down
Johns.
the list.
Johnny Cash.
Let's roll some dice.
No. We've got the question of the week
that's right.
from Jeb and Bob. Which one do you want to hear first?
Brought to you by Bob.
All right.
Hi, I'm Bob. And from the question of the week, who is more important, your wife or your kids? I'm just gonna base it off of me, Shabby, Malachi, and my mom. I'm gonna say the kids are better because we get to play more video games and we're generally more nerdy. Brought to you by Bob.
We weren't asking who's better, kid.
Jeb, I need you to put a frog under his pillow, man. Just
Speaking of Jeb, let's see what he has to say.
It's obviously the parents because they protect the kids, and that's a good one. So bye.
Okay.
Gotcha, bud. You see the points in life that they're at. Because Malachi is hitting almost those teen years. I'd be curious. I need to start asking my kids if they want to answer, because that's only 2 sets of kids we can legally talk to without being weird. Is our 2 sets of kids. So if you'd like your kid, that would be pretty kind of amazing to have our listeners' kids call in and weigh in on some of these things as well. That'd be awesome. But right now, there's some dice that need to be rolled.
Alrighty.
Atlanta may have gotten rid of the peach drop, but we'll always be rolling them dice.
All right. Well, we're not going to the commercial break, so that means
Bad dad jokes.
Ooh.
I think I saved something for you. On
Are you
TikTok.
ready?
I'm gonna find it.
Did you know that koi always travel in groups of 4?
No.
Yeah. If attacked, koi A, B, and C will scatter, leaving behind the decoy.
I hate everything about you. Oh my god.
All right. Since we've got the full run through here in the chat, let's give a bad dad joke from him. What sound does a piano make when you throw it down a gold shaft?
No.
A flat minor.
No. That was very painful.
Well, yeah. If you got hit by a piano, it would be pretty painful.
I hate you, Joe. Yes. I thought I had hit save on this. Oh, this might be it.
Ooh, we've got one coming in from the audience here.
Oh no.
John Marsh says, "What did the drummer name his twin daughters?"
But
Anna 1, Anna 2.
wow. All right. So this one to clear our palate, the Audie Norman also reposted this one. Okay. So it's not just me. Audie likes this one as well.
Okay.
Bar and orders a whiskey. He takes it outside to enjoy on the bench. As he's sipping, a man walks into a bar and orders a whiskey. He takes it outside to enjoy on the bench. As he's sipping, a nun walks by and scolds him. How can you pollute your soul with the devil's drink? The man replies, this isn't the devil's drink. It's just a whiskey. The nun argues that it's wicked and sinful, but admits she's never actually tasted it, only heard from others how evil it is. After some back and forth, the nun finally goes, you know what? All right, if I have a sip, I'd probably understand better, but I can't be seen drinking out here. Could you order me one in a teacup or something? The man nods, heads back inside and says to the barman, can I have 2 whiskeys, please? Put one in a teacup. The barman slams on the counter and says, that nun is here again! A man walks in.
There you go. There you go. There's your drunk uncle joke.
And I know from the voice who say that joke, 'cause I've had them come across my feed before too.
Yeah, this is How to Kill an Hour, I think is their channel. Something. Marsh, go home. You're dadding out too much right now.
All right. Well, we've already had number 6, so
Here's
Daddy,
number
tell
2
me a
up for.
story.
Well, there we go. So, do you want to start this one off, Joe? Or because I don't even know what your perspective is on how this came about.
yeah. So, we got an email asking if we were interested in joining a podcast network. And for those who are unaware, we have been part of a podcast network before, not with Wise and Nerdy, but with the Pokemon Go podcast. We were part of the Giant Size Team Up network. And that was run right by Charles, so it was run wonderfully. And
Wow, you paused. You paused right there. I heard a stutter. That wonderfully.
Yeah, well, so I honestly, I never saw the back end of Giant Size Team Up, so I didn't really see how it was run, to be completely blunt. But this has been a very, very different setup from Giant Size Team Up. So they reached out to us. They're what was their name? Poderation.
Yes, Poderation.
Poderation. And they are trying to collect nerdy podcasts. Most of the podcasts that they currently have signed up have something to do with D&D. Not all of them, but a large majority of them. And so they reached out to us and asked if we were interested, and you and I, we discussed it and we said, okay, well, let's meet with them and see what their pitch is.
Well, and it took the follow-up because we do get a number of emails of, as all podcasts do after a minute, where it's just kind of a generic, hey, your search words rank here, we can help you rank higher, blah blah. So we were asked to join some other, like, claim your feed on this site kind of deal. And so we kind of looked at it, talked about it, didn't really do anything. And then they did a follow-up email and wrote something different. I don't know, it wasn't like anything spectacular, but it was real. It wasn't just an AI search generated email. So we decided to take a phone call just to see.
Yeah. And so we met with them for an hour or so, and we had a bunch of different questions that we asked along the way and whatnot. And we were interested. They sent us over the contract for it. And at least for me, the biggest consideration for me and why I felt okay doing it is there's a clause at the very end that says we can leave the network with a 30-day notice. And so having that clause in there, if something goes wrong, we can be like, okay, well, we're out, we're done. And from a legal standpoint, they can't do anything about it. And so whenever contracts are involved like that, I want to know what the escape clause is. Not that we're planning to leave, because it does sound like a decent deal, but having that clearly defined avenue for leaving if it doesn't work out, I liked that. And that, to be honest, that was what pushed me over the edge on it.
So what are the positives? What were you like, oh, I want to say yes to this moments?
So there weren't really any drawbacks to it. 'Cause I know that you and I treat things very differently. I look at what could go wrong. That is what I look at first. And so there wasn't a whole lot that could go wrong. But you're asking about specifically for positives. It's not going to go wrong
for us to join a church group either, but it doesn't really fit her show, right? So what was it that went okay? I got past the wrongs. All right, cool. Then you went, wow, why would it be worth it to move forward?
Yeah. So the main benefit of what they pitched to us is they would find ads for us, basically, and so they would do all of the legwork for finding ads. Also, we've been having hosting issues with Spotify. Granted,
We're still gonna be with Spotify.
we're still with Spotify, but I did and I don't know how true this is, but I did mention to Charles that we're now in a more premium business.
Yeah, we're on some kind of business premium side of it now.
And so we might have more recourse with them if issues continue to arise, where they might be more responsive because we have a more professional version of Spotify. And so hopefully that gives us more oomph to our, hey, we didn't actually violate any copyright here.
Yeah.
Statements, instead of getting the canned responses, if any responses sometimes. But yeah, so they will find us ads. It will also provide opportunities for collaboration with the other podcasts on the network. We'll see how that plays out, but that could be a huge benefit. And like I said, it seems something worth trying, and so we're going to give it a go and see how it goes. How about what was your response? So that's all from my perspective. What are you thinking?
Now,
As someone who's run a podcast network, what are you thinking?
I liked that there was only two people, right? The guy stateside that had, because I even asked him how they connected, and they talked about that a little bit, but how essentially he kind of became a A&R. Really is kind of like searching out the talent acquisitions, and I forget what R is, but basically he's the guy that went out to see, hey, I think that this vet the shows, I think they'll find, they'll fit with us. Reach out to them, start the conversation, and then the other person in the conversation was the guy who started the company, and he got on and told the story of why he started and what he did and what his background was. I liked that there was no ego in any of it, because that's kind of the first thing I look for is there a gatekeeping anything here? Is there does somebody think they know something, or how's the energy going to come off? And everything was very cool, very, very laid back. And then I definitely like that his background is something that we need, which he comes from marketing, and he knows that kind of edge of it sounds like from his background, he knows the edge of, here's how you should promote your show and win, and here's let's help you set up some of this stuff. And he that's the other thing I liked, was he wasn't just giving away his time and promising the farm. His name is Hugh. Hugh was sitting there saying, I can help you exactly with X, Y, Z if you reach out to me and ask. It's all part of the thing. That's not any extras, but I'm not just going to come and do it for you. And I was like, very nice. That's what we call balance,
Yeah. Well, and I like that they didn't make any smoke and mirrors promises that they clearly couldn't deliver on.
And I don't know if you noticed it, because you'd set up some time in your workday for this, and so you were, whatever,
Multitasking.
You come in with that brow down, and Mr. Roboto find all the problems. But I was watching to see how they reacted to little things that I said or things that I popped in, and I like that even though they did ask about numbers, they understood that it's a smaller downloaded show than what we had before. We told the story of Pokemon Go podcast and all of that, but told where we are now. And the questions that Hugh asked made sense to me. Like, these are questions you should ask. But at no point did they, I don't even know if they even researched me, which is great, which is fine. But they obviously checked out the show, because John had his answers of why he reached out to us and this and that. Now, he did do a search for like Geeky Fathers or something. I think we popped right up, and then you listen to it, and then whatever. But at no point where the big thing I look for is gatekeeping, and then the flip side of it is being overwhelmed and overimpressed. And at no point did they ask me to go into further or dig into my background, or it was just a cool. We're all talking about this show, this project right now, and does it work with what you got and what they're doing with the idea of, okay, we want nerdy people, we want to nerdy this and nerdy that, and now we're trying to branch out. And I can see us being kind of that bridge where we fall into that nerdy section, but we're not going to be like any other show that they have right now, which is exactly the kind of thing I look for and going, cool. We have a Venn diagram of audience, and it sounds like as we meet people, we'll probably get along great with some and do okay with some others, because that's just how life is, right? I haven't checked out any of the shows, but the idea of the cross promotion and doing different things, that all the structure was there. All the structure was there for a solid podcast network, that their goal basically was to bring nerd joy into the world and help us all get paid together on it. So I liked it. I don't remember what the questions were exactly, but we definitely asked some very pointed questions about ownership of content and different things like that. So, and it should not affect anything in the feed. We're going through the whole thing, and that is I don't know. I don't know if we got Casey J or if we got Dead Baby Turtle, because it says Dead Baby Turtle, but sometimes Casey J hijacks that account. I'm just saying. And Sydney, by far, Sydney blew out the fireworks last night over. I don't know. Tokyo was pretty tight. Tokyo was really tight with their Godzilla, but Sydney did an amazing show. Atlanta did a cool new drone show. I just gotta like flipping through my feed, see all the different major.
I kind of like seeing the various drone shows. I saw one from India, and it was a Pokemon themed one, and they had some pretty cool drone displays. So,
but yeah, that's what I liked about joining Poderation. And you'll probably hear a little bit more branding coming up soon. They do have an app, and I don't know if it's launched yet, actually, but maybe they're about to launch an app.
I think they're still working on it, or it's in beta,
something like that. Yeah, but we'll be on that, and you'll have an option there to have the free ad version, and then they're gonna offer a small subscription if you want to do one without ads. So there's other things coming up in the year. But that was and it's moved at a good pace. You know, nothing rushed, nothing dragging out. Just we're about to switch over to fee. We got some account stuff set up today, and I'm looking forward to it.
But as far as our listeners go, they're not going to see anything different from their devices, because it's still going to be going to the same feed as far as they can see.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody's gonna be cool. Be cool, man. Just be cool. It'll be all right. Is there anything else you want to say about that before we kick on to the next one?
No, I think we're good. Doubles. It's 4.
Parliament of Popeyes.
So you popped this one, sir. And thank you, Jebby, for always getting it correctly.
Yeah. So when should kids get their first smartphone, if at all?
All right.
And I don't know who actually put this in our list. I just pulled it from our list of ideas, but
yeah,
it seemed poignant given that I'm switching carriers. So I talked a little bit about that in the pre-show. But during that conversation, the rep at Verizon, he thought he could mix and match a couple of deals, and he didn't end up being able to do this. But for a brief moment, he thought he could add a 5th line to our plan for just an extra $7 a month. We're like, oh, okay. Well, we could have a line for our kids if we did that. And we didn't end up being able to work that out. But our oldest is 13 now, and more and more of his friends are getting phones, and he's been pestering us. I want a phone. I want a phone. I want a phone. And so I thought this would make for a good discussion.
Malachi, step up to the TV, son. Drunk Uncle Charles has got to tell you, phones are the devil, and you should never ever have one until you are on your own. There. That's I obviously I use my phone all the time for work. It does entertain me. It's this and that. But they are phones. A little bit. I feel like a little bit of an old person getting on my soapbox, but it has been a bit of the downfall of society. It's definitely, I've had to learn how to put in boundaries that I generations before us never would have considered that needing to be a boundary. It's like, no, I'm not going to look at my email today. I'm not going to look at this. I'm not going to answer that thing at midnight because it'll wait till tomorrow. But for kids, it's even worse, right? Because our brains don't know how to situate the difference between, I don't think that's the right word, but you'll figure it out. The difference between what is real and what we think is real. And so when somebody's texting you that thing or posting on Instagram that ugly thing about you or whatever it is, even though they're not going to sit there and say it to your face most of the time, our brains still feel it and process it the same way. And you don't know how to handle that. We didn't know how to handle that because guess what? We didn't do that. As I came up, phones came around as I became a young adult. So we weren't sitting there. We didn't have the full internet yet. So we weren't sitting there posting things about people. We weren't texting. And slowly but surely that heat's been turned up. You're born into it. You're born in the darkness. I hate that my kids have them. Now at the point, my wife finally got me to agree that when we need to get a hold of them, as in we're giving them some more freedoms to do some more things, specifically, typically like getting up through high school where you're going to be in sports or after school programs, which, sorry, buckos, you guys are homeschooled. You ain't got that, so you don't need that. Okay. I've always made a way for them to communicate with their friends, but it's like there's a certain responsibility that comes with that freedom that you cannot comprehend how to use it correctly until you smack it in that wall. And I prefer to protect you from that wall as long as I can. And that is, we can't monitor you. So I've used that umbrella protection visual with my kids. I can only cover you under this umbrella, but this phone gives you way too much freedom to get way out, squirrely out from underneath my umbrella. And once you do that, I can't help you. You have to be here. So it's these conscious choices of being safe and staying protected. All four of my kids, my youngest is 12, have phones. The bottom two basically did not get them with my permission. They are not on my plan. They don't have good phones. But Aaron, I think Aaron wants, I don't know why. I do not effing comprehend why my wife wants the kids to have phones, because she feels the same way about the protection, about you don't need to be on with your friends 24/7, about the, especially with the boys, but all of our kids at some point in gaming or some kind of internet interaction, we've had to step in and go, hey, that's an adult. Why the blankety blanker is, am I hearing adult on the other side of that headset or whatever it is, right? Even though we've taught them and trained them. But they have, I call them burner phones, those prepaid plans or whatever. Those little economy phones. My youngest two have that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I'm showing a flip phone. We use this when our kids are doing state testing. We'll load like 15 minutes onto it, and we give that to them so that they can call us when they're done with their state testing. And they make one phone call, and we pay for like $10 for the month and to load up enough for them to make one phone call to say, hey, come pick us up from the state testing.
So all that, and it's not as accessible, but it is. Now my youngest especially, she's bugging me for an iPhone. I'm like, it's too expensive. That's the other thing, is you got to learn breaking things that are cheap. And I'm not ready to put that extra phone on my bill for a line. I'm not ready to put, pay for that phone. Because Erin was going to give her X, I think is what she had. I think she's upgraded from a X to a 17 as well. But she was going, can I give this to Zoe? And like, that's part of the trade-in. And it was part of the trade-in. And until you can get a job to pay for yourself, which also means you're away, and I'd like to be able to track where you are for your safety and have you be able to call for help and do those kind of things, I don't think it's necessary. And it's one of those deals. It's like the innocence of youth. There's certain things, once you know them, once you've experienced them, once you've been there, you are a different person, and you've lost a little bit more of that childhood and that innocence. And sometimes that's a good thing because, a 16-year-old doesn't need to be watching Blue's Clues and curling up with a pacifier. But I don't think a 13-year-old has a need unless, like, Rylan was start doing baseball and like legitimate. He was trying some high school baseball. And so I was like, fine, give him a burner phone for that. But all right, Joe, here's my soapbox. It's
Malachi just sent me a comment in Discord. He's like, I am going to pay for the phone. Charles is not informed. I'm like, the pay, yes, is one thing, but it's
one
more
week.
than just that.
Come live with me for 1 week, son. You will lose all your innocence, but you will see the world in the ninja way. And Ronin, just look up Marvel Ronin.
He knows who Ronin is. So we've already told our kids that when they get phones, we've already told them they have no expectation of privacy on those phones. And when we do get a cell phone, it'll be like for all of them to share. Is what our plan is.
That's asking. See, that's too much trouble for me to want to give a crap about. Because it's you throw 3 people, especially 3 brothers, into the mix at those age differences. Well, Jab's not going to give a crap for a while until, hey, I want it because you have it, type of deal. But yeah, they've got. I don't actually really fully understand why they want it, because they don't leave the house all that often, and lately Malachi's push hasn't even been to have a cell phone that has cell service. It's just to have a cell phone. And I'm like, why? You have an iPad. Like, there's not. And in all honesty, if you're doing Wi-Fi only and you have an actual iPad, it's the same thing.
Basically, yeah. And so I don't fully understand why he's so dead set on wanting an iPhone, because he has an iPad. And because lately, like I said, it's been, he doesn't want one with service because he doesn't want that, because we told him we're not paying for that. So he's like, oh, I'll pay for it myself.
Where is he got just that much saved up allowance?
My in-laws let him do chores at their house to make money. And okay,
talking, I got it.
Now he sent me. He totally just rolled his eyes, and he just sent me a text in Discord as well, saying, "I will get cell service eventually."
Yeah,
so,
see, I do.
So he's just doing,
kids. We can see the dominoes you're setting up.
The trickle progress. He's like, okay, now I've got a phone. Okay, now I'm gonna get the cell service, and so. Yeah,
I applaud the thought process, but I got some pointers in a second.
But yeah. In general, we've already told them, once you have cell phones, and I'll tell you now, since you're listening, Malachi, even if you're the one paying for it, you will not have an expectation of privacy on that cell phone. Period.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It may be his dedicated phone if it will be if he's paying for it, but there will not be an expectation of privacy.
That's always been a rule in my house. Is like, look, if one of the siblings pay, that's theirs. But yeah, the phone, it's just wait for it. Just let some life happen. Just take a breath and look at me. Look at me. This whiteness was not there before cell phones were invented. And now it's all I'm like, I'm young, dude, and this is the beard that I have. Take your time. Prove the case. So I told you I was gonna give you some pointers. I definitely applaud. I saw it second. He said, I don't want it with service. Like, no, I see the dominoes you set up. That is definitely the river path, right? You don't cut a straight river through something. The river just wears it down and smooths it out and just keeps wearing away the edges. Good on you. But be blunt. Prove the case. Find the need. What need do you have? Because I guarantee it's not the schoolwork, right? They got it covered. But look around you. And you won't find it yet. But that should also tell you. If you listen to nothing I say, listen to this. When you can see the need enough to approve it, and it can be something as simple as, I know there's some class that they were taking outside at somebody else's house because of something like an engineering or some randomness.
Yeah, they've got a
Okay.
couple of different electives that they take
Okay.
with a homeschool group.
Now it's not enough, but that's the start. Say, hey, well, I can, if I had a phone, access to a phone. See, you say that. If I had access to a phone, you could go get your favorite Target, Starbucks, Mom, and shop for a minute while I'm at this class, and then I can just let you know when I'm done. Where I'm going on this.
Just take your iPad and send me a message in Discord. These places have Wi-Fi.
Hey! I'm trying to get them home. See, your dad. Look. This is Uncle time. This is Uncle time. That's what we're supposed to do. We're always on top of things. But I'm telling you, if you start making the case and you start clearly communicating what you see the need is, at some point your parents will listen. So I try to get all my kids to do. But what it'll also teach you is if you can't make that need, one, it might be because your dad's a little salty and he gets a little in his pants and puts you in his place, as he puts everybody in their place apparently in life. But he also says it lets you practice communicating. Then you'll see the need, because if you don't have the need, my wife and I handled things differently with our firstborn, and he kept pushing lines, he kept doing things. I kept just telling him, just wait, man. Just let some things happen in life, because 18 is supposed to be a cool birthday because it's supposed to be a transition in life. But guess what? By the time he turned 18, he was very disappointed, let down, because he basically done all the things that you're supposed to wait till you're 18 to do, because he just rushed things. I'm like, it's not fun. It's not exciting. Now he's always had samples of alcohol around the house. Like when I got a new bottle of scotch and they want to smell, I let them smell it. And of course I will let them taste it, because I know they don't know how to drink scotch. So they'll just take a little sip real fast and it'll burn them. And then they don't want to do it anymore for a while. Cool. But Oakland's turning 21 this spring, and we have a trip to Biloxi planned, which is gambling. But he doesn't have to drink if he doesn't want to. We're not going to do that. But also he has waited in that one aspect of life. So Malachi, I'm just telling you, start making the ideas of why you want it. Is it because your friends have it? Your friends aren't cool. How do I know? They don't listen to Wise and Nerdy. They don't sit here and put in stuff in life, or stuff in our chat. They don't subscribe to the show like you do, bud. They don't know me. I would call them maybe Malachi's friends. So that's as close as they get. But I know your name. It's Malachi. So,
yeah. But I've known a lot of families
bud.
where they have a family cell phone that is paired up with the car. Whoever has the car that the teenagers are allowed to drive, they take the cell phone with them, and when they come back, they turn it all back in, turn in the keys and the phone, and so
sure,
that works for them. This is a bit of a tangent, but I've seen people making fun of Gen Zs who are like, man, we need a cell phone that just stays at the house so that people can get in contact with the people at the house. And all of us older people are like, yeah, that's a landline, people. Yeah, that's a landline.
So the last thing I'll definitely say about it is, besides the waiting and it'll develop good skills. No matter what, your mom and dad can't argue with this path, because you're going to develop communication skills, which are important. Now, they might not let you have the phone, but the path is important. But when my kids started getting where they could get jobs, I swapped it to still teaching safety, but swapped it to be about teaching to have bills and being responsible with your money. So they do pay for it. Now, sometimes there's a Christmas thing where I'll pay for the monthly payments on the phone, like the phone itself, but you got to pay the bill, or I'll pay the bill. The bill's lower. I'll pay the bill. You pay the monthly payments on the phone. And now I think Oakland does both. Like, he pays for his own phone and for his part of the bill. Plus now car insurance and so on and so forth. But that's the thing. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. But yeah, you will earn, and that's the key word in life, you will earn the responsibility and freedom if, when you do find a steady way to pay for it yourself in a legitimate way, have a need for it, and then once, even when your parents don't meet you halfway and they say, here's a little toe in the water, you can borrow this phone, or we'll have one, blah blah blah, however group dynamic they set it up, make sure you follow those rules every single time to show that you're going to step up and be right, and now earn you some more freedom.
Okay, so I think in summary, the Parliament has decided that when there is a need, then a cell phone can come, but it's not to just keep up with your friends.
It is, if you have to be 21 to drink, you got to be 21 to get a phone. Done. And as we roll some dice, Daniel's life popped in and said, "Hi, Joe." Say hi back, Joe.
Oh, hi, Daniel.
Okay, and then do you guys still play Pokemon? It could be Pokemon General, Pokemon Go. I do not, which is no surprise to anybody. But Joe, where are you in the Pokemon world?
So I did re-download it. I am not playing it as much as I was before, but I play it every now and again. My wife put in the chat, my middle child downloaded Pokemon Go onto his iPad, and so where he can play it is limited because he's got to have Wi-Fi, but he's been having a lot of fun with it. And so he started playing it again. I re-downloaded it and I've been playing it some as well.
And then Australia is a little behind. They don't get everything that we get. I think everything's a little bit smaller there. So Dead Baby Troll says, "Oh my, those dice are huge. I didn't know that was the die." Good day, mate. I think is what he said.
Yep, they're
I just cracked myself up. Sorry. Good day, mate. Come on. It's stupid, but awesome.
Oh, man.
What did we roll? What did we get? What number?
We got a 3.
How do I?
Well, it goes right into all of that. Now, this is a little bit more boring parenting talk, but it's something I find fascinating. Change is rough. Even when you're a chaos god like I am, I love change all the time. I rush into change, sometimes a little too much. And sometimes there's just some turbulence, right? Because I always get through because I love what I love, and we'll get there. Changing a phone plan, it's, especially with family, anybody but yourself, it can be a lot. So how do I, Joe, because you just went through this with not just your wife, I believe you're still tag teaming with your in-laws somehow, some way there.
Yep.
But how do I decide that any kind of plan, but for in this case, a phone plan, moving 4 phones for 4 adults, I'm going to guess at least 2 of them are not super excited about tech and care about the newest, latest everything. How do I decide that it's worth all the trouble and that it's the disruption of life is going to be minimum?
Yeah. So all 4 of the adults on this plan, well, all 4 of us, because there's only the 4 of adults on the plan. We've been talking about getting new cell phones for a long time. But we looked at our bill and we're like, I'm sure we can find something cheaper. And so with those being our main 2 considerations, we've been looking at a bunch of different phone plans that we could switch to all within our current cell service and outside of it. And so we looked at all the different like smaller ones that you hear, like Mint and Cricket and different ones, as well as the larger providers. Because we're with T-Mobile, we looked at Verizon, we looked at AT&T, we looked at the different ones, and ultimately, what pulled us in is I saw an advertisement that Verizon said if you switch over, you can get 4 iPhone 17 Pros on them, and whenever I see a deal, I always want to look at the specifics of the deal. Because I've done that before with Sprint back before they got bought out by T-Mobile, where like you trade in your iPhone, you get this one for free. Well, for free really ended up being we pay for half of it and then we get discounts on our bill for the next X number of cycles or whatever. It was like for 2 years or something like that. And so I was like, okay. And that one, half the time they would forget to apply the discount. And so I would have to call them and I have to go through all that hassle. And we're like, we're like, no, we're never doing this again with Sprint because it's been such a horrible thing, and they keep forgetting to apply it and whatever. And so when it came to Verizon, now we'll see how it ends up playing out in actuality, because if they keep forgetting to put in the credits and whatnot, we'll see. But what it's supposed to be is that it'll show on our bill that we don't pay anything, but it'll show a $30.55 charge that is getting also deducted in the same bill.
Yeah, for the standard, when it's on us, I believe the consumer, in this case, Joe, has to pay for the taxes still, some way, somehow, typically. But
Yeah, the sales taxes.
So the advertise, right? Get the iPhone 17. It's $36 a month. So it'll say you owe that $36, and then you'll get a credit for the exact same amount when it's on us for the 2 years, because they still build in that technically you're paying it. They're just giving it right back to you. Because if you leave and break that contract, you still owe.
You still owe the difference. Yep. Yeah, because and technically there is no it's month to month. Like, it doesn't have a set commitment on it. There is no, I guess there's no early termination fee as part of the contract. So we can leave, but then we would still be required to pay for the rest of the devices. But so, and the price that we got is locked in for 3 years, which is how long it'll take to pay off the devices anyway.
They locked you on 3 for the device and not 2?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Now I know for you that doesn't matter. Tell everybody what model. Now you're going to the 17 Pro.
Yep.
Right, which is a very nice choice. I actually have a 16. My wife has a 17, so you're going brand new. But what model would it be? Like the 15, maybe even the 12? Joe, was it the 12s?
Nope. All of us are going from an iPhone X to the 17 Pro. Well, actually, you gave me an XR, because the battery in my X was just so completely shot. You took pity on me and pulled one that one of your kids used to have that they had dropped a few dozen times and was all cracked. You're like, here, this has some battery. and so you took pity on me. So I'm currently using an XR.
I gave you something you needed. There was no pity there.
And so technically my wife since November has been running, I think, a 13, because she dropped her X and the screen popped off. So we found something on Amazon and bought it real quick for like $400 or something.
Yeah.
And so I think she's got a 13. But yeah, so we're jumping basically from an iPhone X to a 17 Pro, which is going to be a huge upgrade. And my father-in-law, he's been talking for the last couple of months about wanting to get an iPhone 17 anyway. And so
are any of you guys picture takers with your phone?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you are going to be blown away by the difference.
Yeah. Well, and the quality of pictures keeps going up and up, which means the memory that they take keeps going up and up.
Oh, okay. Quick tip. When you get your phones, you need to go in, at least for the images and in the settings, and make it the JPEG and not the HEIC or whatever that Apple can do. And that will help. Say it'll be good quality and it'll help really condense down. And then if you go sharing them, it's a lot easier to share the JPEGs and the HEICs, as I pronounce it. I don't know how.
Okay, yeah, because I had never messed with that on the iPhone X, but I did notice whenever I would port over my pictures to my computer that they were in that. I assume it's an Apple proprietary format.
Kind of high image something.
Okay, yeah. I'll have to take that into mind. But we had the option of increasing the storage, and then we would pay the difference.
Okay.
Over the 3 years. And so
what was the base storage they're offering you?
256.
That's solid.
That's
solid storage.
Yeah. Well, that's just the lowest available for the 17 Pro is 256. And so the other options are 512 and 1 terabyte.
Right. Before you go, how much memory did you have on your XR that I gave you?
I think it's 64.
64? Yeah.
I'm pretty. Let me check, but I'm pretty sure it's 64. Storage. iPhone storage. Yep, 64.
So Joe is going from a one-room studio to a mansion, and he
And
had the options of getting bigger mansions.
Yep.
So
And so the other three opted for the 512, and
Okay.
I opted for the terabyte. So originally they were going to go with the terabyte as well, but the salesman talked him out of it. And
why is that? Why are they talking about it?
he was talking about how if a scammer comes in, them wanting the biggest and best is a red flag, because he was talking about how if we pick up the phones and then ghost them and don't pay, it comes out of his paycheck.
Oh my god, dude! I'm sorry. Listen. I don't usually make this show, but here's a after school special. The more you know, racial moment. Look at the most white bread people that are sitting in front of you that you've ever freaking seen. Add Mormon mayonnaise on top of it. These are not the people that are taking these phones and ghosting you, dummy. Sorry.
No.
Oh my god! Come on, man.
No, he said he wasn't worried about it with us. He was just talking about in general. But what it made my in-laws do is they're like, "Do I really need a terabyte?" And they're like, "We could probably get."
Your in-laws do not.
Probably not.
They do not.
And they were like, "Well, we could probably get away with the 256, but we want the 512." And so they're like, "Okay, we'll go with the 512 instead." So they convinced themselves out of the terabyte, and they were looking at me expectingly. I'm like, "No, I'm going with the terabyte. You guys can move down. That's fine. I'm going with the terabyte. I want the terabyte, because I will probably have this phone for the next 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's gonna get full of pictures that I will forget to delete or purge or move over to a service or whatever. And so they're gonna sit on there, and it's gonna be full of videos and whatnot, and it's gonna consume a ton of space. And now, granted, I'm going from 64 gigs to a terabyte, so it's gonna take a long time to consume that.
Yeah.
And could I get away with the 512? Probably, but
I've stayed
at this
personally
point-
on 256 for the last couple models and done okay.
yeah.
But you do have to have a backup service for your pictures if you're going to do that.
Yes. And so, yeah, I won't worry about space. I will just take all the pictures I want, take all the videos I want. Because right now, I'm like, okay, take like 2 or 3 pictures at different events. Now I'm just gonna be like 20 pictures and a whole bunch of videos, and just, I can do whatever I want because I've got all the space.
I remember when old young Joey had a phone that he couldn't hardly play Pokemon Go on. It was overheating constantly and had to be on a battery pack without fail, and it was slow to react, and he upgraded and the world parted and he got an iPhone X, and here we are 50,000 years later, and he's finally upgrading to the 17. So yeah, I agree. It'll probably be on the iPhone 27 implant by the time you upgrade. Yeah.
Well, and ironically, the reason that I upgraded to the X was because before that I had the iPhone 5 and it was no longer going to be supported for Pokemon
nope,
Go.
We're not going. You got to get off.
Yeah, Pokemon Go was like, nah, we don't want to deal with you oldies.
Yes, because it was 6 and higher. You were actually starting to look at 6s. Like, no, that's the next one to get cut, dude. You got to go up the line.
Well, and the ironic thing is, at one point I had a 6 Plus. But I don't know how much you remember about the issues with the 6 Plus. They were huge, but they would get micro bends just from being in your pocket.
Yep.
And where the bends tended to be, it would pull loose a chip on the motherboard that would make it so that your touch screen didn't work. And so that ended up happening to both me and my wife. And Apple, as a company, they denied. No, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. They didn't want to accept the design flaw.
It was,
and they dragged it out for like 4 or 5 years until they finally admitted, oh yeah, no, our bad. You can send it in, and we'll fix it. And at that point, everyone's already moved away from it.
Moved
So
on,
there's
yeah.
so it's just like scummy business practices. And so after that
Yep.
happened, I went back to my iPhone 5 after being on the 6 Plus, and I was just like, okay, well, I'm not going to bother upgrading in a timely manner. I'll just ride
So-
stuff out.
In short, though, I mean, I love the stories, good stuff. But what was it that, for the how do I part of this, what was it that made you all go, okay, there'll be some disruption. You have to, like, they're back order. You haven't even started a new thing yet, so you'll have to get the new
Yeah.
phones. There'll be some transfer time. It doesn't take all that long, honestly. As long as the X supports whatever the new stuff is, it transfers very fast. It'll actually save all your passwords on all your websites and stuff, so you don't have to redo all that crap. It's really, really, really cool. As long as you have saved your stuff in the key, whatever the security thing that Apple has, the
iCloud
key, iCloud key, whatever it is. Yeah, it's great, but there's still going to be some turbulence. There's still going to be some moments. What may and you're going from one company to another, so you don't know that devil. This is the T-Mobile's the devil you know. Verizon's the devil you don't know. What was it made all you go, this will be okay? Well, whatever turbulence comes, this is worth it.
Yeah. So with my work phone being on Verizon, we knew that the coverage was decent around here. So we already had
That's
that.
always
Plus,
a good start. Yeah.
yeah. Plus, we'd already talked to some other people because even though it's my work phone, I'm only using it for work. So it's not like I'm using it a ton compared to my personal driver. But we also talked to other people that daily drove Verizon and asked them how their experience in the general area, and people spoke positively of that. So we were confident in the coverage as far as the cell signal goes. And so what it boiled down to is the deal in and of itself. We did ask the people that we knew that had Verizon, because with a work cell, I don't deal with the customer service side of things. I don't deal with that
Sure.
aspect of it. So we did ask. Stuff just fell over. We did ask if they had any issues with customer service and things like that, and no one threw any like huge red flags. Let's face it, customer service in general sucks. And so really, you're just looking for, is it horrible or is it just bad? Because most people have bad customer service.
Sure, fair
Not
enough.
everyone, but
I'll say for T-Mobile, for me in Atlanta, for T-Mobile, there's always been excellent customer service.
Okay.
And Verizon, I had Verizon. How Oakland had been 14 when we changed over, so we had it when he was about to be born. So we had Verizon for over 12 years, if not longer. But ultimately, the customer service got bad enough to where I just and other little issues. It was worth looking at something else at the time.
Yeah. And so, but getting the new phones and the bill was comparable. Well, what we thought we were going to get was comparable. We ended up, the guy that we were working with found some extra savings that cut off an additional $45 a month.
Wow.
For the next 3 years. We locked that in. And so we already thought we were getting a comparable deal. And then it was like, oh, no, you're actually getting an even better deal than what you currently have. So it was originally going to be roughly the same price. Plus, we're getting new phones and the coverage was decent. And so we didn't see a reason to stay with T-Mobile.
Sure. And that is part of what capitalism is sometimes you got to jump ship to get a better deal. Because what Verizon got was either you're locked in and they're going to have a guaranteed money from you for 3 years, or you're going to ghost them. But your history, obviously, from your consumer report and everything else they can pull shows that that's not going to be the case. So
yeah, because we were with, because I hopped in with my in-laws' plan when I got married, and they'd been with Sprint, who then was acquired by T-Mobile for the past 25 years. And so as long as Verizon treats us right, we'll probably stick with them, or in 3 years, we'll look to see who's got deals on getting new phones.
You know what? Maybe we could do our own. Smartless Mobile has done their own. The Smartless Podcast has done their own Smartless Mobile plan. We should get the Daddy-O's mobile plan. The phone doesn't ring when your daughter wants money. It gives you a special tone, so you know not to answer the phone. All right. Do we have we have one more section or two more sections?
We've got one more section, so why don't we head the commercial break and then we'll
Gotcha.
head on over to nerding out.
All right. Well, check us out as we're joining the Poderation Network. We're going to have some more information coming up in the next couple of weeks about how you can see us on that page and what you might expect from us in the future. But until then, go to wiseandnerdy.com for all of our cool stuff going on there. And actually, we would love some feedback. If you go to wiseandnerdy.com, let us know that you can see the current shows. You can see the player embedded at the top, all that jazz. So we're still having some thoughts and issues over there. And, of course, wiseandnerdy.com/allowance, where you can come and support your daddies, your favorite daddies in the world.
Yep. Yeah, so we definitely have a caching issue. If you pull it up and you're seeing Mario on there, that's not the current feed, unfortunately. And I've played on the back end. I've researched. I've probably spent 20 to 30 hours trying to figure out the caching issue, and I have no idea what's up with WordPress.
Yeah. So. And we know most of you listen through apps and join us on our social media, like linktr.ee/wise_n_nerdy. And that's all great. We love that you do that. Joe, what is the question of the week coming up in however long?
Yeah, so the January 22nd question of the week is, if you could be a cartoon character for a week, who would you be?
Okay. Light Yamagaki? I don't know. No. Okay. All right. Any other business to talk about before we rack on?
No, I think we're good. Let's head on over to...
What are you nerding out about?
All right. Well, Joe, I may or may not have talked about this on this show, but a while back I discovered the show you're about to talk about. Found the concept interesting. I'll let you set it all up. It grabbed me enough to where I binged it for like 8 episodes, and then something took me away from it, and then it took me forever to get back to it, and I did, and I finished the first season, but for whatever reason I haven't made myself move forward. But what is it that you're nerding out about right now?
Yeah, so I just finished the 3rd season of Alice in Borderland. And I actually think there might be an anime version of it too, but the version I watched is the live action one on Netflix. Yeah. And I'll say that for our viewers, if you liked Squid Game, there's a decent chance you'll like Alice in Borderland. It has similar-ish vibes.
Yes. With the isekai feel to it.
Yes. Well, yeah, very much so. It's still sort of our world, but they're pulled into
like an alternate dimension of it,
kind of. Yeah, because most people in the world are poof gone, and our main character has to go and play in these life or death games. This is definitely not a kid friendly one. I will go and say that.
There's a lot of brutal death.
It is brutal.
It like your first choice dooms you or saves you? Like if you choose to pick up the phone, then you're in. Otherwise, you're not playing. And you're good.
Something like that. It's been a hot minute since I watched season 1.
Yeah.
But
it starts off dark, people, and it's really good that way.
Yeah, it definitely starts off dark.
So many people die.
So they have to play these games, and in the games, if you get a game over, you dead. You game over. And so they don't fully know how to get back to the real world.
Well, you could argue they don't really know. They have a theory.
Yes. So
in the first season, of course.
Yeah. So all they know is that it has something to do with playing cards. And they're trying to figure out, there's clues in the games themselves and things like that. And so they're trying to figure out how to get back, how to survive and how to get back. And yeah, so like I said, if you liked Squid Game, there is a good chance that you will like Alice in Borderland.
It has a little bit of that post-apocalyptic, like what would people do in tribes kind of feel to it too.
Yeah, very similar. It just like Squid Game. It's all about making decisions that you can
Dude,
live
the
with
hide and go seek one
to a
in
certain
the first
extent.
season.
Yeah,
That was good.
yeah. And I again, season 3 just wrapped up. I don't know when or if there will be a season 4, but they left it on a bit of a cliffhanger. So it's called Alice in Borderland, and if you want, I'm trying to decide how much I want to. It's not a huge spoiler because it doesn't have anything to do. It does spoil the small little cliffhanger. Should I say it or no? It's not.
Yeah, let people get
Not
to
huge.
it.
Okay,
Let
but
people get to it.
yeah, it has. It really is nothing like Alice in Wonderland, but it has some. You can see some of that influence in there, like with the
Sure,
playing
okay.
cards, with yeah. And so there is some little nods here and there, but yeah, it's fun. It's brutal, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So
Very cool, man. I made a few quick changes over the holiday season. One of those was I've been having Spotify for the family, which is $20 a month for 6 people. And
I didn't realize it was that expensive. I've never looked into it because I haven't had a big need for it, but
I don't think that's expensive at all. For 6 people to have 6 different accounts under one, like it's all premium. It's all the no ads, all that jazz.
yeah.
I don't know, man. I thought that's
I'm
for 6
a bit.
people, all right.
I can be a bit of a miser. I understand that.
Well, in the things that you don't want, but you opted for a terabyte of storage space that you'll take a long time to need. So I got you. No, I pay for music because there's enough situations in my life where I am playing music in a public space for an event or something that I need to be ad free. And it was at the time, prices have changed a little bit, so I cannot tell you what the solo plan is now. But at the time, my solo plan was like $10 a month, and the family plan was $12 a month. And I think it's always kind of stayed in that range. And it had gotten up to $19.99 a month. And just now, they actually started giving true shuffle. As in, if you ever had like an iPod or the aptly named iPod Shuffle, and you put on shuffle, the algorithm would literally shuffle around. Hey, oldies, how about when you put the CD in your CD player in your car or your truck, and you hit same thing, it would randomize the tracks.
Yep.
Not on streaming media. It doesn't really do that, and it's been obvious. And they actually did just release that, but there was something else going on.
That seems so basic.
Yeah, right. It is, and they started this Wrapped thing right a couple of years ago. Now every freaking body in the world, ChatGPT tried to give me a Wrap 2025 of what I did with ChatGPT this year. We don't need all that crap. I'm tired of it. But then Tyra was talking to me about something she does with Apple and so on and so forth. So again, a door opened up. Let me look. Well, Apple family was $15 a month for 6 people to have Apple Music. Or, now keep in mind, I'm already paying $20. Or I can go to $25 a month and you get everything for 6 people. So that's Apple Arcade, Apple TV, if we wanted it, Apple News, Apple Fitness, those kind of things, right? And music, the music, of course, which everybody's excited about the music part and the Apple TV part because those are both apps you can get on Samsung, whatever, doesn't matter. Arcade comes with the phone. And I immediately jumped in. I talked about last week, the Cult of the Lamb, which I actually want for my Xbox now because it actually is a fun enough game. They make you do the controller on the screen kind of thing, which is okay. Not a fan of. By the way, these games will also play on your Mac laptop if you have a lot of them. Not all of them will play on the phone and the laptop. But again, using the keyboard and mouse, not great. Although I did realize I can hook up my Xbox controllers to my Mac, so I'll do that. But anyway, Another game I got that I really, really, really have been enjoying is Dicey Dungeons Plus. I don't know what the
Okay.
plus is. So I've noticed that Apple has done that. So I bought Balatro again when I got my phone, paid the 15, $20 for it, whatever it is. And of course I have it. I mean, that's the thing that Kurt and I have done forever. Well, Arcade has Balatro Plus, and I downloaded it, and it was going to make me start fresh. Like, I had my regular Balatro game, and Balatro Plus is a different icon. I can't tell the difference. I don't know what the plus is. You would assume it's something they give you something over the regular game, but I can't tell. So I don't answer that. But Dicey Dungeons is Running Man style TV show, right? Where contestants, human contestants, magically get transformed into an actual dice block figure, and they each have their own kind of sets of skills and stuff. So it's similar to Slay the Spire, rather. Slay the Spire, where each character has a different strength or weakness. They actually have different cards. So this is a card game with slots, and you have first round or level 1, you can get to level 5. Level 1, you have 2 dice. Level 2, you have 3 dice. Level 4, level 5, so on. Till you max out. I think you max out at 5 dice and X amount of health and whatever. And so the cards that you go, and it's a deck builder. So the cards that you have a spot for your dice, and it'll say, like, it'll be blanks. You can throw any dice into that one, and it'll do 2 damage. Cool. So it's an RPG that way. You can already see what kind of damage you're going to do. You can throw up to a max of 3, so 1 dice up to 3 points. So it'd be worth 1 if it's 1 pip, 2 if it's 2 pips, so on. And you'd have whatever it shows on the dice, you'll have that much shield for that round. So it's that kind of maneuvering of special attack with fire or electricity or ground, or do I protect myself? Do I duplicate the dice? There's all kind of strategies you can have. And I've already unlocked all the dice characters because they make you do that at first, which is fun. So you start with the adventurer dice, which is a sword and shield paladin kind of dice, and you beat that story, the first chapter of that story. And I picked up very fast after the third person I unlocked and beat their story, their first chapter. Every time the jester goes to spin the wheel, it always comes up death. Because like, oh, let's see what prize you get, and you can leave the show. Oh, sorry, you got to play another round. Well, you have to play with the first 6 set of dice to be able to unlock the other chapters to go forward. And it just builds on it, and the story keeps building. There's a secret character that unlocks very quickly. It's just so much. The first character unlocked was the pirate, the thief dice. So they're all based on basically characters from Dungeons and Dragons to a certain point. And I didn't really pay attention to the mechanics. I was just caught up like, oh, this is so much fun. I'm getting the patterns. I'm figuring it out. That apparently I stole a power from somebody I fought, turned myself into a werebear dice, and stayed that way for the rest of the. I get that like level 2, and there's floor, so you clear floor, you get health, you get little shops to buy stuff, blah blah blah. And so I transformed, and there was no transforming back. So I figured, okay, at the end of the match, it'll transform me back. No, I stayed in werebear form the whole time with like powerful swipes and all this crap, and finished the story chapter with him. It was so crazy. So I don't even know what he can really do because I got a superpower at the beginning. So his second chapter is not that easy. There's a mechanical engineer dice that you are forced to get rid of one of your powers that you've been playing with to upgrade to this particular one has and you open up spots. So essentially you have a grid of 6. Okay. Think of like an inventory system on a
Okay.
RPG. You can put an attack that's worth 2. So that'd be like a big sword attack. So it'll do like between 4 and 6 damage, but takes up 2 spots in your card inventory. Or you can do a 1 spot, which is usually not as powerful, but it's something like burn some dice or duplicate some dice. It's like kind of like a support, heal, And so you can have more of those 1 slots, but you just have to figure out, am I going to do the 2 slots or the single slots? Well, you start off with just 1 slot typically, but this particular construction dice, engineer, whatever it is, has a button that just says, hit them for 6. Well, after each match, you're having to choose what power to lose because you get inspired to build a new gadget, and that's what the button. So you're changing out that button every time too, and so it's just enough chaos in that character that it made my brain happy. So yeah, it's called Dicey Dungeons Plus. It's on Apple Arcade. I'm sure you can buy it in the Apple App Store, probably the Android store. Don't know how much it's worth. Steam, I'm sure it's out there on Steam, but it is such a cutesy little odd. The characters are, and they don't even, the art's not all that great. It's almost like that stupid caterpillar book. I can't think of the name of it. That kid's
Hungry Caterpillar.
maybe with the kind of the splotch pastels and yeah. It kind of reminds me of that to a little point. I mean, it's not quite like that, but and there's no real animations. It's just there's a character over here, and you're in the bottom corner, almost like Pokemon style, diagonal, and the cards are right in front of you, and you throw the dice out, and the only thing that's random is how the dice roll up at the start of your turn. So they'll roll up the numbers, and you just figure out some odd, even, whatever the numbers are. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. So
There you go. Yeah, you mentioned Slay the Spire, and I forever ago when you and Kurt were talking about Slay the Spire, I added it to my wish list on Steam, and it went on sale. And the sale ends on the 5th, so the sale will probably be gone by the time it will be gone by the time this hits our feed. But it 90% off right now. So I went ahead and grabbed it for $2.50.
Yes.
Just like
that's the best $2.50 you're gonna spend.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but I thought I'd give it a whirl. Just
don't even download it. Get your new phone. Get it up. Put it on the new phone. Do it then.
Oh man, yeah. The other thing, my boys were looking at it. I've already purchased this, but I like putting stuff on my wish list on Steam and then just waiting to see if it goes on 90% off.
Did you buy it on Steam or did you buy the?
I bought it on Steam.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Understood.
But like for instance, Hogwarts Legacy is on sale right now, 90% off on Steam. So instead of being $60, it's only $6. So
wow, nice.
Yeah. So I've got a bad habit of throwing stuff on my wish list and then waiting for it to be 90% off. And I need to play more of my backlog. But
well, I was going to ask you. You already said it before I asked you, but I was like, if Slay the Spire is less than $10, buy it. Yeah, $2.50. I looked up Dicey Dungeons. The regular app is $4.99.
Okay.
And it's not on sale right now on the Apple Store. And I don't know if it's on Steam or not.
It is. Dicey Dungeons. It's not Dicey Dungeons Plus, but Dicey Dungeons is currently 75% off on Steam, so it's $3.74.
So there you go.
But,
yeah, the Plus might just indicate it's part of the arcade, because it is a different app than the straight one. It's just like that. I don't know, but I am enjoying, because I wouldn't pay for arcade. I don't care enough about phone games. I will always play the same thing. I will always go back to my Slay the Spire, my Monopoly Go, and I'll come and go with other games. So I just don't pay for arcade, but because I'm going to pay for the music. And that was the other thing, Joe. At $25 a month, 6 people, right? If I'm already going to pay like $15 a month for music, and then if I wanted the Apple TV, which I did want, but I turned it off because this is kind of expensive. I don't remember what it was per month, but per year, it was like, I don't want to spend that much for one more freaking app, per year. But I dare say it's not $10 a month for Apple TV. I think it's like 15 or more. So yeah, just that by itself covers everything. And then you got the arcade essentially for free. So that's how I looked at it. Oh man, it's been a good year. That's the final show of 2025.
On
the first of 2026.
Charles at Rock God of Podcasting, Joe at Joseph_Ard. Check out the website wiseandnerdy.com. And as always, they may not be your father, but they'll always be your daddy.
Shut up, Mike.